2001, when the world changed forever. I was here. I was stationed right here. At that point, I was in the military for 7 years. I was stationed at Nellis Air Force Base when that terrible day happened. I was working at the command post here. I remember every detail of that day vividly, as if it happened yesterday. I remember the day starting out as a normal day. I was still with my ex-wife, my first wife. We were living on the base, and I remember waking up normal days. She was still sleeping. I was getting ready for work. And it was weird because we never ever watched. Like before I left home, I never watched TV, so I didn't have the TV on. So I got up, changed, got ready for work, and ate breakfast, and it was just like any other normal day. So I walked out the door. So I remember getting in the car, and I turned the radio on, and at that time I listened to a lot of like sports stations, so I was on ESPN radio. And I remember, I can't remember what the show was. I think it was Mike and Mike in the morning. I believe that was the show. And I just remember one of them was talking really like soft and like sad. And I was thinking, oh shoot, did like an athlete die or something happen? And then he mentioned the Twin Towers. The World Trade Center was hit by a couple planes, and they weren't sure what was going on. It's like, whoa. So I drove up to the base, and I just remember cars were backed up. I mean, you could not even get in. And I was like, what's going on? So I actually called my job, because I said I was going to be late because I don't know when I was going to be there. So I called my job, and my boss picked up, and she said, yeah, don't worry about it, just get in as soon as you can. They have the base locked down because there's been an attack on the World Trade Center. And I was like, wow. And I remember getting to the command post, and it was like complete chaos. There was people running around, people were on their phones. It was just craziness. I remember when I first walked into my office, my boss was literally running out of her office, going into the command post. And pretty much that was what it was all day. It was just a frenzy of just craziness going on. I remember after I got settled in, I went into the command post, and I looked up, and they have all these big screen TVs over there. And I literally was watching, and the first image I saw was of one of the towers was smoking up the top. You know, the image of the smoke of the top. And I looked at it, so I asked one of the airmen, so what was going on? And the airman pretty much said, yeah, somebody there was a plane that went through the towers. I was like, wow. I was like totally shocked. And then I remember my boss, who was an NCO, said, yeah, a terrorist attack just happened. We were attacked on our soil. He was mad. I remember him being like steaming about it, like just mad. And I stood there and I was in shock. Now, from my perspective, I didn't work in that area. I mean, I worked in the hospital, not in the area. I was the admin guy. I did all the paperwork for them. So I went back out to my office and did my work. And I remember I was working, and periodically I would go into the command post, see what's going on, but literally I would stay at my desk most of the time. And then at one point, I remember going into the command post, and I remember actually seeing the towers go down. Both towers going down. And it's something I'll never ever forget to this day. Where I was standing. I remember I was right there at there's like a little desk right when you walk in. There's like a little area. I stood right there and I watched it all happen. And everybody in the command post was in like shock. It was like silence. Even our commander, she just stared at it. It was just craziness. And then I mean, yeah. So after I was able to get off, I went back home, and excuse me, my ex-wife was there, and she's watching it, and we were watching it, and we were just shocked at what was happening. We could not believe what was going on. Some terrorist group attacked us. It was just, to me personally, you just felt very vulnerable, because you always think you're safe. Wherever you are, you always think you're safe. That your personal space, your world is nothing bad happens. But when this happens, it like pulls at you. It's like, I remember the days after that day, watching the details come down of the terrorist group, whatever, come down and find out who it was and who was responsible, and how many people had lost their lives. It's just a surreal thing that happened. I mean, 15 years later, I'm still thinking about it. 15 years later.